Hey everybody, so sorry it's been a couple days, but this is going to be a part 3 of the DUI story that I got when I was younger. So part 1, I kind of described like what happened. Part 2 was like the intake procedures and going to actual jail. So at this point, I'm in jail. I'm in a pod. I'm living above this guy named Pounds. And the other pod, I mean, it's like the barbershop in there of the pod I get in, which I'm just this little white guy. They were all super cool dudes, though. I had no qualms with them. They would sometimes, I don't know if any of you guys ever did this when you were younger, but like kind of cup check people. They would always do that to each other, which I thought was pretty funny. So yeah, for the first couple days in jail, I was super depressed. I don't think I actually got up for like until like day 3, so I kind of just slept. They don't really require you to get up and eat, but I think by day 3 they started like questioning what I was doing. So you know, and I was coming off from caffeine. I was kind of realizing that, well, my life's going to change quite a bit, and you're just in jail. It's not a fun place to be in, you know. And so I get up like probably the 3rd day, and I go eat like the jail food. It's like, man, they come in early as hell. It's like maybe 5:30 in the morning, maybe 6 o'clock, but it's super early, and it's like your quintessential like standard cheap breakfast. It's like toast. I think it was like maybe 2 eggs and some grits, I think it was, something like that, and maybe a milk. And so, you know, I'm like, I actually thought that the breakfast was pretty well balanced. Like, it wasn't like bad at all. Like, a lot of people would complain about the food, but I'm like, man, I don't eat like this when I'm out. You know, I eat like junk food and shit, and I actually enjoyed like eating a normal, like balanced meal in the morning, and then like I thought that was pretty awesome. Okay, sorry, I had to pause it for a second. So yeah, you're in this pod with all these other guys. Your day starts out by eating breakfast, which is a pretty standard breakfast. There was a lot of egg exchanging going on, which I was kind of like, what's happening with all these eggs going around? And it seemed like some of the bigger, bulkier dudes were trading eggs for other crap on the tray. And I think those dudes were like using it to bulk up a little bit. I'll talk a little more about like these dudes. They were like lifting water bags and stuff like that. And kind of strange, but you know, I guess if you're into fitness when you go to jail, that's what you're into, I guess. And so, you know, your days are pretty mundane. You don't really do much. They have like a TV in there, and it's like way up high. It's like playing like weird reruns of the news and crap. And then it's like when you go to the, like when you walk down to get food, because I was on an upper deck like pod, there's 2 tiers. It's kind of like high school all over again, but like this time it's just like a shitload of dudes and everyone's pissed. And so you play that whole game of like, who do I sit with? You know, prior to going to jail, I like looked up all this stupid info. Like, obviously I was like, is it possible to get raped in jail? Because I was like, oh my god, I was kind of nervous, and you know, it gave you all these like live by rules of like what to do and who to sit with, and like keep with your own kind. And it wasn't that serious when I got in there. Everyone was pretty cordial about like everything else. I luckily there was a couple empty tables, so I just sat by myself, and I think there was a dude that approached me. That sounds weird, but he approached me in a good sense. He was just another dude that had been in there for a DUI, and he kind of was in the same boat I was in. It was like, well, you know, we got ourselves into this. It was a matter of time. You know, he said he's been drinking for like 8 years and making bad decisions, and I was like, yeah, man, I'm right there with you. And you know, one of the things that they always told me while I was in jail is like, oh yeah, you'll be back in here. And I was like, I don't think so, man. Like, they're like, yeah, probation's a bitch. It's hard to like once you get out. But So if I wouldn't have, so basically what I got sentenced with was 30 days in lieu of like a year. Um, okay, sorry, my phone glitched out a little bit. So I was sentenced to 30 days in lieu of like a year, and I would be on probation for the rest of that time. And then if you mess up again, then obviously you go back to jail. But, you know, I was like 100% like, no, I'm not going to. And I never did. But some of these guys were in there, they were talking. This was before you had like the 3 rules of like DUIs were felonies. But there were some guys in there with 6 or 7 DUIs, and it was just blown away by like, holy shit, you guys are retarded. Sorry for that. You can't say that word, I don't think. But and so I'm in there. It's like day 3, and at some point I find out like people start leaving the pod during the day, and I ask someone, I'm like, where are those guys going? And I find out day 3, and I think that's when you're allowed to ask, or they just give it to you. But you can do like a work exchange. So you work for me, it was work 3 days. You get 1 day off your sentence. That's why I ended up with less days in jail total. Which part of my job was booking. Like, so I would go in the morning and clean booking. Which, if you think about it, it was probably one of the worst jobs, because you got people in there that come in at midnight or 1. I mean, there were guys that were pounding on walls all night, so there's blood. There's like throw up and like shit. Like, so one guy shit all over everything. The walls, he smeared it on the mirrors, and I had to clean that one, which was gross. And so once I found that out, where you get 3 for 1, I was all about it, because then that means I was going to spend like 26 or 25 days in there, you know, total, which I was super jazzed about. Because I'll tell you about this crazy calendar I made. But I made like a 30-day calendar, and I was marking off the days, and I started like tracking like how many hours I got left, how many seconds I got left. And it was like something that kind of kept me sane. Like, obviously I knew I was going to get out, but it was like start of spring, and everything outside looked awesome, and I was like, man, I want to be outside. Late at night, you could look out the window, and you would see people driving up to the mountains, and I was like, damn, dude. So that part was kind of hard for me, at least, when I was in there. And then, you know, this whole time I knew I was gonna be out, so it wasn't like I'm never gonna get out of here. So yeah, a lot of your days are just nonsense. You don't really do much, and then you kind of just play games and you meet people. And one of the games I really got into was Scrabble. I was jazzed about Scrabble. I'd play it every day with this one kid. I eventually beat him, but like he was good. He was good. Like, we'd play every day. We had the dictionary, and he was the one that actually hooked me up with some coffee early, because like, I think one morning I was playing to him, I was like, man, I wish they could have coffee, because I'm like, oh, I haven't been without coffee for years. And he gave me some instant coffee, and I paid him back when I got my commissary that following Thursday. And so that, oh man, as soon as I drank that cup of coffee, I felt 1,000 times better. At least like you could cope at that point with what you're going through. So yeah, you're in, like, you do your daily stuff. The guards were like kind of dicks at the Jeffco one. They would toss people's bunks if their beds weren't made right, and they would like throw all your shit over the balcony, like, for everyone to see. They would also throw all the contents out of your locker, which I thought was kind of bullshit. And the guard, he was like, he was buddy with some of them, so like he would just do it just as like a funny joke, which I thought was kind of fucked up. But yeah, so this story, so I want to show the calendar, and I'll probably show that a little bit later, of the calendar I made. It's wicked old now, but it's still a paper at least. And then I'll tell you about the ninja kid. He came in about mid-sentence, probably like 15 days in, but he took the burden off a lot of oddness, you know. Like, so yeah, I'll tell you about the ninja kid a little bit in the story. But so yeah, my part of my thing was I cleaned booking, which was like 2 hours, maybe it was 2 hours or something like that. So you go, you go out of your pod, you walk with other dudes that are going to clean booking as well. There's like a 4-person crew. We had like a cart. The guy I was with, um, I'll tell you a little bit about him. I had to get hot water one day, and he was this hard Mexican dude. Like, he had the teardrop tattoos, and he just looked like, oh my god, I don't want to mess with this dude. But he would always sit right by the hot water, and like every time he came up, he was like, he would talk to you a little bit. Come to later find out, he was actually scared of me. Like, he was like, damn dude, you got like Manson lamps on you. That's what he said. He's like, because at the time I had a full beard. Like, I walked in with a full beard, probably like 4 inches long, and so it was way bigger than this. um I was a lot skinnier too at the time, but yeah, come to find out later that I was like scared of him because he had like tats and he was like hardcore cholo dude, and then he was actually scared of me, which is really funny. So yeah, you like, I went with him like several times. We would go clean booking every day, and that gave me time off my sentence. And yeah, there's one where like you would walk in and some dude just still be in there, like just kind of crazy, you know. And one guy was punching the walls. I went in after him, and there was like parts of his knuckle all over the wall. And then, so like, the weird part about the whole cleaning process is when you go in there, they strip search you in the morning. So you like, first before you like go in the booking area, you get strip searched, which is like squat and cough. You show them your butthole real quick, woohoo, and then you stand up. And then when you leave, you also get searched. So you're showing double butthole like all day long, and it's, I don't know. That's probably the lowest part for me, was showing your butthole to people. Because, like, how often do you actually show your butthole to someone? Like maybe your significant other. I think I showed her once. But you don't show your butt very often to people, especially the whole of your butt. So that part was a little rough. Other than that, I mean, other than just being extremely bored in jail, like, there was not much going on. I did have, like, a bully at one point. He was kind of fucking with me a little bit. He said at some point I had a visitor, and like the visitation area is kind of up this like staircase corridor, and like it's kind of solo of everything else. So when you're walking up there, you need to have like permission or a visitor that you know of that's going to be there. So I walk up there to see, and I get in a shitload of trouble by the guard sitting down below, and I come back down the stairs, and this dude laughing at a table, and I nipped that shit right in the butt right away. I walked up to him and I was like, dude, what the fuck? That is not cool. I was pretty pissed. I don't remember what I said to him, but I'm pretty sure I threatened him a little bit. Because I don't know what his issue was, but maybe he had a longer sentence and he had nothing better to do than screw with people that were already in trouble. But you could also catch more charges in there too, so you gotta be careful not to like do anything stupid. So I was like, oh my god, dude, like this ain't going down this way. So he backed off after that, after I like confronted him about it, which that's what you should always do if you have a bully of any kind. And so I'm going through the daily. Okay, so it's night now. I took a little break and went thrifting. Didn't find anything this time, but so to touch base where I left off at. So I was in jail. I dealt with the bully guy. Just kind of living every day. I was playing Scrabble with a kid. We were drinking coffee. It was funny, like around that time, like maybe a week after I got in, I was able to order commissary finally. And I came in with a bunch of money. I was just like late on ordering. And so the first time I ordered a lot of commissary, I ordered everything. I mean, I think I got a little CD or a tape player. I got like 8 sneaker bars, like 10 cups of ramen noodles. And it was weird because like there are some people that are in jail that are indigent and they don't have any money, so they just get like a toothbrush and a bar of soap and shit. And I didn't know this at the time because I was just like, God, I want some sweets, get them in me, And so I ordered a lot. I ordered like 4 full bags of shit, and I was hit up by like almost every dude in the jail. Like, they come up with these sob stories about, oh, how I need a couple ramen noodles, and I was like, fuck off, these are mine. I did end up like doing a deal with the guy Pounds that lived below me. One, I was scared of him. Two, I think he wanted just some batteries, so I ordered some batteries, and he ended up giving me like some sneaker bars or something. So it was weird to do like prison deal or jail deals. I was like weirded out by it. But so yeah, I'm just going every day, day to day. About 15 days in, um, this is where the ninja entered, and the ninja, he was like, the ninja that entered the jail. He was like, I don't know, he had to be like 22 or something. But he was this dude that came in, and he was just very odd. Like when he walked in the pod, he had his hands behind his back, and I overheard him talking to some people at a table near me. He's like, someone asked him, obviously, because it's like, what the hell is this weirdo doing, right? And he's like, I have to walk with my hands behind my back because they're registered weapons. And like, sure enough, he was saying that he's like some sort of kung fu guru, and that he has registered hands. And I don't know if he was just like nervous. He was kind of a smaller dude, but he was very odd. I think he was just trying to play tough. Like, that like when you go out and you like punch the biggest dude in the yard when you go to jail for the first time. I think it was like that kind of mentality. But this kid was just ridiculous. He would like, so not only would he walk around like with his hands behind his back, but he would also walk kind of on his like tippy toes or something weird. He was like kind of like prancing around. He was like the butt of every joke at that point in jail, which was awesome because I had that one bully dude fucking with me, and then like he just immediately attached to that guy hard. And I was like, nice. Um, the kid was odd. He would like get up really early, and like as soon as you could get out of your bunks and go do shit in the day area, he would get up and go start working out. But he would like be doing like karate moves, and he'd be like, "Whoa, yeah," like really loud shit. And it was funny because like it would be so loud that everyone would look over, and he was like better than any TV you could possibly imagine. Um, he almost got in a fight with a guy one night because the guy was questioning his kung fu ability. But that kid, I mean, he kind of put him in his place. He yelled real loud, like kind of like a girl, but it kind of stopped it almost immediately. Wasn't the same guy that bullied me, was another guy, but they almost got into it hard. Um, there was a guy that got caught making hooch. He's like, I guess hooch is like you have fermented fruits, you put them in a bag, they like swell up and shit, or like ferment, and then they become some sort of pseudo alcohol. Now this is jail. You're like, I think max maybe some people are spending like maybe a year in there. Pounds was transitioning though from prison to jail, like to get him like climatized to being like in jail, because jail's easier than prison. Then he was gonna get released. But he was serving 2 years, and I was like, damn, dude, that's insane. He was talking about all his kids, lots of kids and shit. But sorry, I got off track there. But the guy making hooch, he got more time at it, which I thought was crazy. Um, One other one, and I think I'll wrap this one up, and then I'll do a part 4. There might be even 5 full parts because you got to deal with stuff after you get out of jail, and like there's all this bullshit. But one other guy that I felt kind of bad for, he showed up at like the height of like the busy pod. Like there's so many people in there that they put extra bunks in between like the 2 sets of bunks in each pod. So there was like 1, 2, 3, 4. There's like 16 people per pod. This guy came in. I heard him asking the guard one night. He's like, "Hey, I don't think I belong here. Can I leave?" The guy laughed at him and like, he's like, "No, you can't. You're in jail. You can't leave, dude." But he like, it was sad because he went and laid back down on his bunk, and I heard all this commotion a little later on in the evening, but like before like they turned off. Like, well, there's a thing about the lights. They never really turn them off. But so there's all this commotion down. He was in one of the lower bunks below. I'm on the top tier. He's on the bottom one. And I heard all this commotion, and like the prison, some prison staff walked in. They were like EMS or workers or whatever. But apparently the dude he got so anxious and had like a panic attack that he ended up having a pseudo heart attack. Like not a full blown one. He was still like, I don't really know how heart attacks works, but a lot of the people said he ended up having a heart attack, and I was like, damn, dude, that sucks, man. Another thing that's really tough in prison, prison, I keep saying prison, jail, they don't ever turn off the lights, which it was really hard to get used to. So like at night they dim the lights, but they're like the incandescent like long strip bulbs on the ceiling, and they don't turn them off fully. So the first night I was like laying there, I was like, when are the lights gonna go off? And the guy's like, oh, they don't, man. Like everyone, like at some point everyone had like a towel folded over their eyes, and so I ended up doing the same because there's no way you can sleep with those lights on. It's like damn near impossible. No matter how hard you close your eyes, you can still see them. But yeah, so that's where I'll wrap it up now. Like the rest of the jail stay, nothing like crazy exciting happened, but I'll wrap that part up. There was a couple more weird instances I had about like showering nude and pooping like in an open kind of stall setting, which was strange. But I'll touch base on those in part 4, and then yeah, I'll see how much longer this little DUI series go. I mean, the long end of the short of it is don't get a DUI when you're young because it will fuck you for the rest of your life. So yeah, stay tuned for part 4, and then there'll be a part 5. All right, peace out.